Vineyards and Winery is marking its 30th anniversary this year.
Peter and Sarah Botham planted their first grapevines in 1989 on their 7-acre vineyard south of Barneveld. But for the first time ever, there will be no harvest this year. The most challenging year for Wisconsin agriculture in recent memory. We've done many stories about it this year.
Farmers affected all over.
Claimed their entire crop, but the Bothams say they will adjust and endure and carry on as they have before.
It's kind of like the tidal wave, the perfect storm of bad things that can happen for growing grapes in Wisconsin, honestly. It started with last winter being just way too cold. You know, that period where we had 4 or 5 days of, 20 plus below zero weather, that caused all the bud damage, which resulted in basically no crop this summer. That was followed up with a growing season that is just, you can't get a whole lot worse than this. It was cold and wet in the spring.
Right.
It's been rainy all summer. This is the middle of August, and the high today is going to be in the 60s. This is everything you don't want for growing grapes. So we don't really have a crop this year. We're not actually going to have a harvest this year. There just isn't enough out here to make it worthwhile. That's a result of winter.
What should they look like?
Well, first of all, this cluster should be about the size of my fist. This is a secondary bud cluster, which is really tiny and kind of worthless, honestly. So, and this also, because this has been just a terrible growing season, moisture-wise, it just exhibits problems with fungus and what have you, shriveled berries. And at a certain point in the summer, I guess it was probably June or so when I realized there just wasn't any fruit here. I kind of backed off on vineyard care because I just knew it just wasn't going to happen. So I kind of,
what do you
so
do?
we resulted.
Do you just leave it? You just leave it alone now?
No, you can't leave it alone. That's the one downside to having a season where there's no crop. Care and feeding
never stop.
Doesn't change. Yeah, there's no reward at the end.
Well, what will this mean for your business? How devastating a situation is it to lose an entire crop?
Yeah, the upside is that last year we had a huge crop. So I have enough, I think, carryover. We're going to get a little thin at some point, obviously, probably around this time next year we'll be out of things. But because we have some carryover, we're going to be actually in pretty okay shape.
And that carryover is made partly of wine that's aging and not ready for release yet.
Yeah.
We actually could be thinner the year after next, honestly, because that wine, the wine we make next year, will still be aging and maybe not ready for release.
People forget oftentimes that bottle of wine starts out with farming. And farming is subject to weather, so...
people see grape growing as this very romantic, oh, you live at a vineyard and you grow grapes and it's beautiful, and it is all of those things, but the bottom line is it's farming, and that's a lot.
Hard work.
But you guys have gotten creative, and you've sort of diversified your business a little bit and made it a tourist attraction.
Yes.
Yeah, you kind of have to. It's tough just to sell a product. You have to keep people coming back and engage them, and you have to really. That's Sarah's side of the business. I make the product. She's the one that gets people here to buy it.
There is a little piece of something very special in Wisconsin where you can come with a family, come with friends, come alone, and learn about Wisconsin wine, learn about how grapes are grown, have an extraordinary tasting experience, throw a party. We have event spaces.
Be part of the story.
And be part of the story. And there's a difference between visiting at like an urban winery where you get a wine tasting experience and learn a lot, and visiting a vineyard where you can see the grapes being grown and see the production facility and talk to the guy who makes the wine. And there's a lot of sort of emotional draw to that makes the experience deeper, at least in our opinion.
It is such a beautiful place and worth the drive. The tasting room, by the way, is open Wednesday through Sunday from 10 to 5 through December 24th, and then it'll close and reopen again the first weekend in March. The Vineyard will still host its Uncorked 5K run on September 28th this year. Botham Vineyards, it's just off Highway K, south of Highway 18151. For more information, go to bothamvineyards.com. But this was the worst planting season in 25 years.
And yet last year was perfect.
Right. See, so,
it's farming.
And that's farming. And it's a beautiful life, and they love the life, so you take the good with the bad. Yeah, but everybody can be part of it and help support them just by going out and enjoying a beautiful bottle of wine.
All farmers can sympathize with them.
Exactly.
They're all in the
It's
same
been a
boat.
hard year.
All right. Speaking of